everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I will be teaching a yoga sequence for your hips. Play some music if you want today. Just relax, get ready to move, get ready to stretch, and I'll meet you on the mat. Hi, welcome to class. If you have a couple of yoga blocks or big books or dictionaries, go ahead and grab those, or couch cushions, rolled up blankets work just fine. So pause this video and grab what you need. We're going to meet lying down flat on our backs today in Shavasana. Making your way there, snuggle your shoulder blades under your heart center, soles of the feet out wide, bringing the knees to touch. Hands can lay here on the belly, gently inflating the body up with air as you feel your hands rise. And slowly exhaling all the way down as you feel your hands fall. Playing with this, seeing how much you can get your hands to rise. Closing your eyes and just begin to observe. Bring your left ankle over your right knee now. Level 1, stay right here. You can press your thigh away from you. Keeping that foot flexed over the knee. Level 2, 3. Interlace your fingers behind your thigh and bring your knees towards your chest. Go ahead and getting into the hips right away here. Just breathing. Preparing to stay in these poses for a few breaths each in class today. Hips take a while to open and release. Deep breath in, soften, surrender your shoulders all the way to the mat. Maybe yearning your knees more towards your armpit instead of the center of your chest. And see if you feel anything differently on your outer hip. Deep breath in and exhale. Just begin to rock your knees and feet over to the right side. Maybe hanging out right here for a few breaths. Or if you want to, you can go ahead and surrender all the way to the side, letting your left arm go out long. A nice supine twist. Really getting into that outer glute to start off here. Breathing deeply, exhaling all the way, drawing the navel up and in as you bring it back to center. Sending your right ankle over your left knee this time. Level 1, stay right here. Level 2, 3, interlace your fingers behind your thigh. And just begin to breathe here. Full deep breaths in and long, slow exhales out. Just breathing here. If it's uncomfortable, you can go ahead and go back, or if it's just enough, stay right here and breathe it out. Getting into those hips. Especially as women, we hold so much tension in our hips. Every inhale, inflate your body so much, flooding your breath with air. And every exhale, soften any part of your body that might be tense, your shoulders, your face, your jaw, your eyebrows. One more deep breath in, maybe exhale, rocking over gently to the side. Maybe hang out here for a breath or two. And if you like, you can go ahead and send it all the way over to the floor. Bringing your right arm out long, maybe taking your gaze over to the right side as well. Breathing deeply here, all the way into your outer glute. And exhale, keeping that shoulder rooted firmly into the mat. Couple more deep breaths in and out on your own. And exhale, drawing your navel to your spine, bringing it back to center, hugging your knees, sending your right leg up all the way, level 1. You can interlace your hands behind your thigh right here. Just begin to pull. Level 2, 3, you can walk your hands up to your calf or to your toe. Really flexing that foot and pressing it up like you're standing on the ceiling here. Breathing deeply and yearning your right hip towards the bottom of the mat. Keeping pressure in the left foot on the mat. If you'd like, you can go ahead and extend this leg here. Keeping those toes flexed towards the face, legs active. Breathing in, exhale, relaxing the shoulders as you bend your knee, coming into a half stirrup. Keeping your hand on your hip here for some pressure to make sure it stays rooted. Just breathing here for half happy baby. Relaxing those shoulders, maybe moving the leg up and back. Just kind of playing with bending and straightening the knee a little bit if that's in your practice today. You can go ahead and go into full extension, reclined big toe. Holding onto that big toe and pressing your foot into your hand and your hand into your foot. As you draw your shoulder down and back, your shoulders away from your ears. A couple more deep breaths here wherever you are. And begin to bend your knee, coming back to center, bringing the right sole of the foot to the earth, and bringing your left knee up, extending, flexing that foot, level 1, hands are behind the thigh. Level 2, 3, hands are on the calf, or you can put them on your toe, the ball of your toe, really pressing that foot up to the ceiling and yearning your left hip now towards the bottom of the mat. Breathing deeply, exhaling all the way out. Keeping pressure in your right foot. Now, if you're ready and you want to, you can go ahead and extend that right leg out long, keeping those toes flexed. Both legs active here, as if you're standing in Warrior 3. Very strong and controlled. Option to stay here or bend the knee, coming into half happy baby, placing that hand on your right hip for pressure, just in efforts to keep it grounded towards the earth. Drawing your shoulder away from your ear here. Breathing deeply. Option to stay right here or begin to bend and straighten the leg a couple times. And maybe coming into full reclined big toe pose. If your hip starts to lift, just bring it back up or come back into that stirrup pose, half happy baby. Really trying to keep this hip grounded. Couple more deep breaths in here. Relaxing your head, neck, and shoulders. Unclenching your jaw. And deep breath in, exhale, engage those abs, come back to center. Feet come out long, arms overhead, big stretch. And exhale, hugging both knees into your chest as we rock and roll a couple times. Length of the spine. Maybe one more, and we'll be in standing forward fold. However you get there. Let's start with feet hip width apart today. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Keeping those knees micro bent or generously bent here. Flooding the back body with air and exhaling, releasing your crown all the way to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Neck is long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms down, around and up. Extending standing pose. Exhale, arms frame your side. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward, half sun salute. Inhale, we get long. Exhale, we fold forward. One more time. Inhale, arms down, around and up. Exhale, hands frame the sides. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, stepping it back into plank. Holding here, hip points lever up, abs engage, low ribs in. You can take half plank here, or let's go to full chaturanga, up dog, squeezing those elbows to the side body. Deep breath in and exhale, downward facing dog. Just breathing right here, maybe keeping those knees bent, pedaling the feet out, pressing through those knuckles, keeping those shoulders away from your ears. Maybe bring the feet wide and the hands wide just to really feel space in this down dog. Knees can still be bent. Deep breath in, exhale, bringing the feet back together, lowering your knees down, bringing your knees wide to the mat, child's pose. Wide-legged child's pose here. If you have those blocks handy, option to bring one and place it underneath your forehead. Pressing back, really feeling into the hips. Maybe begin to sway from side to side, maybe pressing up on your hams a little bit. Long, slow inhales and slow exhales. Just moving back and forth here, filling into those hip sockets. Neck is relaxed. Inhale, we come up. Do a bit of a cat-cow here. Wide-legged cat-cow. So wrists under shoulders. Begin to inhale, drop your belly, keep your abs engaged. And exhale, curl your tailbone under, dropping your chin into your chest. Inhale, the shoulder heads back, chest forward. Exhale, rolling through. A few more, focusing on linking these two movements with breath. Keeping your abs engaged and careful not to crunch in the back of your neck. Now coming back to this neutral spine here, you're going to begin to do some hip circles one way, so sitting back onto your hips, just flowing. Inhale, come forward, and exhale, rounding, sitting back on your heels. Really taking up space and feeling your hip sockets here. Neck is soft, and switch directions. Inhale forward, and exhale, sit back. Exhale, sit back. Inhale forward. Really feeling where your hips are today. Coming back into neutral. Child's pose here. Breathe deeply. Hollow your abs out. Strong back as if you could set a T-set on there. Now bring your right knee more towards center and your arms out wide. Squeeze your shoulder blades together slightly. We're going to do some hip circles here. So lift the left leg and begin to circle it out, bringing it towards your elbow. Breathing deeply in and out one way, and then reverse the circle, coming to the elbow up, elbow and out. Keeping your hips level, only moving your leg. Last one. Coming back to center now, bringing your left knee in more to help with balance. Notice if you're popping your booty up, curl it back under, engage those abs. Breathing deeply now, keeping the hips stable as you circle. So circle that knee to the elbow. Hips are strong, abs are stable and engaged. That knee goes out, around, into the elbow. A few more times. And reverse your circle, opposite way. Maintaining that core strength. Dip your chin slightly to reduce strain in the back of the neck. Press into your knuckles and all parts of your hands. And come back, sit down onto your heels. Just do a couple shoulder circles. Dropping your shoulders away from your ears. And hands out to your sides. Maybe ear to shoulder a couple times. Loosening it up. And walking it back down into child's pose. Thread the needle, right arm under left. Deep inhale and exhale. Drop that forehead to the mat. Tuck your chin into your chest. Breathing into your deltoid and the back of the neck. And exhale, surrender and soften. Switching it to the other side. Left hand under right arm. Breathing deeply, reaching with your right arm. Withdrawing your shoulders away from your ears. Couple more deep breaths here. Filling up with air. Bringing your hands to center. Curling your toes under. Lifting those hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Abs are engaged. Deep, deep breaths here. Rooting down through your left heel. Three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Draw your right shoulder down. Focus on keeping pressure equally in both hands. As you breathe in and you exhale, round through your low back, knee to nose. Bring that foot through your hands, runner's lunge. I like to move it back and forth here a little bit, just feeling my hip socket, really opening up through the hip, and then lowering my back knee. If you have those blocks, you can place them on either side of your leg right here, or option to just bring your hands to your knee or hips. Really opening up, really dropping in those hips. Yearning your right hip back now towards the back end of the mat. Really sinking in to this left hip here. Breathing deep and exhale. Glide your shoulders down and back. Crown is long towards the sky as if you have a marionette string pulling up on your head. So feel that length. Engage your abs. Protect your low back. Hands frame the foot now as you heel toe your right foot to the edge of the mat. Both hands come on the inside of the foot. Lizard pose. You can begin to sway back and forth here. Left to right. Really feeling your hip. You can have your toes curled here if that's more stable for you. Whatever works. I know this might be uncomfortable, but you have crazy thoughts going through your mind. Just set your thought up on a cloud and notice it just fade away. And focus on your breath. Come back to your breath in your body. If you want to go deeper, option to bring your forearms here. Breathing deeply, dropping your chin into your chest. Filling up with air. Pressing into your foot, your right foot, your big toe. And exhale all the way out, coming back up onto your hands, curling your toes under, heel toeing your foot back. Lift up, runner's lunge, plank pose. Option to flow here, we'll all meet in downward facing dog. You can take child's pose if this doesn't work for you today. We meet here in downward facing dog. To breathe, planting now your right heel firmly. Inhale, left leg up, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Pressing into your knuckles. Drawing your left shoulder down away from your ear. As you exhale, abs draw in, knee to nose. Foot comes through in between the hands, runner's lunge. Begin to shift our weight back and forth. Catching your breath here. Breathing deeply as you lower your heel, your knee back to the earth. Inhale, up, hands can come to knee, around the hips. If you have those blocks, you're more than welcome to use them. Close the eyes here, or gaze down below your nose. We're breathing, feeling the uncomfortable, opening up our hips that might be so closed down and locked up. Breathing deeply. Exhale, hands come down to frame the foot. Heel toe your left foot now for the outer edge of the mat. Lizard on the other side. You can begin to sway here, left to right. Every inhale, fill up with air. Every exhale, just draw that navel in towards your spine. Keeping good ab engagement, integrity in that core to keep a healthy back. Maybe you can stay right here if this feels good for you today, or you can go ahead and lower to the forearms. And just breathe. Drop that chin into the chest and really fully release the head. If you're on your forearms, keep pressure in the ball joint to that big toe. Coming up now, pressing back up gently, heel toeing that foot back to center, hands frame the foot, curl the toes under, plank pose. Breathing here. Option to flow, chaturanga, up dog. We'll all meet in downward facing dog. You can always take child's pose. Downward facing dog here. Breathing deeply. Begin to walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Forward fold, feet are hip width apart. Spread those toes, really press into all four corners of your feet as you begin to roll up one vertebra at a time, like a rag doll. Your head is the very last thing to come up. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, arms by your side. Stand here at the top of your mat. I'm going to turn to face you. Feet hip width apart. Finding awareness in your hips as we begin to do some hip circles. Pressing into all four corners of your feet. Inhale and exhale. Nice big hip circles here. When you're ready, reverse the circle. Feeling that ball and socket joint. Creating some juice in the joints, getting some fluid in there. Nice and lubricated, healthy joints. Come back to center now. Let's take those feet a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. And let's do some hip circles here. Again, so starting in the same direction. Really exaggerating this circle. Feeling deeply. Keeping pressure into the outer soles of your feet. And reverse. Here. Deep breath in. Notice where you are today. It's okay if your hips feel very tight and stiff. Progress. It's a practice. Just do what you can and listen to your body. Child's pose is always an option. Bend those knees and step it back up to the top of the mat. Inhale, deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plank pose. Your choice to flow here. Elbows frame the sides. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Press into your knuckles. Plant down your left foot now. Three-legged dog again. Bend the knee, stack the hips. Doing some hip circles like we did in tabletop. So circling that knee wide one way. And then switching, reversing the circle. Breathing deeply here. Drawing your shoulder away from your ear. Up, three-legged dog. Exhale. Shin comes through parallel to your hands. We meet in Pigeon Pose. If this isn't accessible to you, you can always lie on your back and start an ankle to knee like we did at the very beginning of practice. Wherever you are today, just drop in. We're going to be in Pigeon for a minute. Hopefully your hips are very open and warmed up by now, that you can really sink into this pose. Breathing deeply in, getting a long spine. Yearning your right hip now towards the back of the mat. Keeping your foot active. Shoulders draw away from your ears. Front ribs knit together as if you're wearing a corset. Option to stay right here, or just begin to walk your hands out. Notice if that changes anything. Keeping pressure in your hands here and feeling a little bit of dynamic resistance. So for me, I feel more of a stretch right here than as if I do right here. So I'm pressing back and I'm really yearning my right hip towards the back of the mat. It's an energetic shift. in efforts to square the hips off. Hands can actually be really wide here. You can loop the shoulders down and back. Dip the chin to create space in the neck and shoulders and lengthen the back of the neck. Breathing deeply, getting long from your tailbone all the way to the crown of your head. Keeping those abs engaged, drawn in. Protecting your low back. Maybe begin to melt forward or stay, whatever is comfortable for you. I like to bring my hands together, rest my forehead in between them, and get comfortable for a while here. Count your breaths. Let's do 5 cycles of breath in and out on your own. Long, slow. Keeping your back leg strong, but noticing if you're tensing up in your right hip. Just try to soften. If you're noticing your face is scowling, soften it. Deep breath in, engage your abs, draw your core up and in, pressing all the way back up. Deep breath in, curl your back toes under, engage your abs, press it back to downward facing dog. Breathing here. Shoulders draw away from your ears. Plant your right heel now, lift your left leg up, 3-legged dog. Now bend your knees, stack your hips, opening up, pressing through your knuckles to keep pressure out of the wrists, and hip circles here. Just like we did on the other side. Keeping those shoulders drawn away from your ears. And reverse the circle. Just opening up through your hips. Three-legged dog, deep breath in, exhale, abs engage, shin comes parallel to the top of the mat for Pigeon Pose. Breathe deeply, sink it down. If you're noticing space here, you can always shove a block underneath your butt or a rolled up blanket. You can always take ankle to knee if you did it on the other side. Abs engaged, back leg is strong. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Deep breath in. You can stay right here or walk your hands out. Really yearning your left hip back now towards the end of the mat. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Dipping your chin. Feeling a nice long spine here. From the tip of your tailbone all the way up your spine, past your shoulders and your cervical spine, all the way to the crown of the head. Remember that marionette string, as if something's pulling from the center of your head, lengthening the back of your neck. Notice if you're resisting here at all, if your hip is tense or engaged, just try to soften it, keeping that back foot firm and your abs engaged, but softening the left side of your hip as you begin to slowly melt all the way down. If you took it on the other side, option to do it on this side, and it might not be accessible on this side. This hip might be very different than the first hip. So just notice one side is normally tighter than the other. Breathing deeply, inflating your whole body with air, taking up space. Exhaling all the way out. Focus on extending the lengths of your inhales and exhales in this pose. Maybe counting, inhaling for 4, exhaling for 4, maybe doing that for a couple times, and then inhaling for 4 again, exhaling for 6, couple more times on your own. Engage your abs, begin to slowly press yourself back up. Slowly curl your back toes under, press it back up to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, begin to walk your feet towards your hands and your hands towards your feet. We'll meet in the middle of the mat. Standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Arms down, around and up. Extended standing pose. Exhale, arms frame your side. Coming to the center of your mat now. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So legs out wide, past your shoulders, toes in, heels out. Really planting and rooting your feet into the mat here. Spreading your toes. Notice if you're popping your butt out, reel it in, engage those abs up and in. Quads lift, they're nice and strong and engaged. Hands to the hips. Deep, deep breath in here. Get long and exhale, folding forward all the way until you reach a flat back here. Flat back. Option to stay here or continue the journey all the way down. Forward fold. Hands can come to the mat here. Or option to yearn them all the way towards the back of the wall. Maybe just swaying from one side to the other as you let your crown really release towards the mat. Hands come back to the hips now. Legs are still strong and engaged. Inhale, halfway lift. Get long. And inhale again, all the way up. Heels come in. Toes out. Sinking it now down into Goddess Pose. Hands can be on the hips here or in prayer. Curl that tailbone under, engage your abs. Really feel your knees go back. And sit as low as you can, maybe just moving from side to side. Breathing here. Deep breath in and inhale. All the way up. Heel toe, your feet in. Just do a little bit more than hip width apart. Toes still face out. Deep breath in. We're going to sink it all the way down into a Yogi Squat. Malasana. Press your elbows into your knees, knees into elbows. This is an option for you. You can always just do frog pose, kind of moving from one side to the other. back and forth, or if you're in regular squat pose. Breathe, breathe deep. And exhale, bring your hands back behind you, coming down to a seated pose. Legs are out long. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Knees can be bent or straight here. Just flex those toes towards your face. Abs engaged. And exhale, begin to fold forward, keeping length in your spine. Notice if you begin to round here, just back it up. You've gone too far. Length, length. Once you found length, permission to go ahead and fold all the way forward, dropping your chin fully into your chest. The more the knees are bent, the more you feel it in your low back. Just breathe here for a few moments. As you folding forward, just tune inward, whatever that means to you. Maybe some self-reflection, or just looking over your day. Begin to slowly press yourself back up, walking your hands to the top of the mat. Now, if you have your blocks or your big dictionaries, we're going to use them right now, placing one long ways and then the other horizontally. You can place the blocks wherever. I like mine on my upper to mid back. You also don't even have to use these. You can use a pillow or nothing at all. Go ahead and bring your soles of your feet to touch, coming into reclined butterfly pose. So just begin to slowly sink back onto your block or your dictionary or pillow. Find that block behind you and just let your head rest on it. Really feeling an opening in your hips here and your chest. Palms are open and receptive. Shoulder blades are falling on either side of that block. Deep breath in. Notice how you feel. Maybe take an assessment of your hips right now, compared to how they felt at the beginning of class. If this is too much for your low back, you can keep your knees like we did at the beginning of class with them together and feet wide. If not, go ahead and hang out here. Reclined Cobblers Pose. Our hips hold so many emotions. So if you're feeling emotional, whether you're sad or feeling frustrated or ready to just get this class over with, we've done a lot of opening in our hips today. And sometimes you gotta go through the mess. Things gotta get worse before they get better. If you're here in Reclined Cobblers Pose, bring your hands to the outside of your thighs. Engage your abs and gently press your knees together. Holding on to the backs of your thighs or digging your elbows into the mat. whichever's comfortable for you. Just gently begin to rise up, one vertebra at a time. Soles of the feet come to touch now for a regular Cobblers Pose as a counter stretch. Inhale, get long, just walking yourself out. Dipping your chin into your chest. Once you've found length, permission to fold all the way forward. If this isn't accessible to you, you can cross your legs in easy seat and fold forward from there. Maybe here you just begin to sway back and forth gently, finding some more openness in your hips. For your next deep breath in, fill up so full, and exhale, begin to press yourself out of this. Move your blocks or books or blankets to the side. Bring your knees together and gently find your way onto your mat. Hug your knees into your chest. Great big hug in. Hands come to the soles of the feet for full happy baby now. So at the beginning of class, we did half happy baby. And if you still feel like you need that, you can go ahead and take one leg at a time. Otherwise, chill out here. Press your feet up and pull down on your feet with your hands, drawing your shoulders away from your ears and rooting them into the mat. Finding a little bit of ease in this pose, even if it's still a bit uncomfortable for you. Maybe you want to stay here in stillness, or you just begin to rock from side to side. And then maybe straightening one leg and then the other a few times. Kind of taking it back to that reclined big toe pose we did at the beginning of class. And if you would like, option to grab your big toe with your fingers and just take it to full out. Stretching both legs now, knees are straight. Staying in happy baby if that's right for you. If you're in happy baby, go ahead and still take your fingers to your big toes. And begin to just press on your big toe mound and just gently massage it, keeping your eyes closed. In reflexology, your big toe correlates with your pituitary gland, which is responsible for your hormone secretion. Just giving it a nice, loving, firm touch, stimulating that gland, helping to balance our hormones as we did a bunch of emotional work in our hips today. Take one more breath wherever you're at. Bring your knees together and slowly begin to lengthen one leg all the way out long and the other. Snuggle your shoulders underneath your heart space, palms face up. Shavasana. See just how quickly you can surrender here. How fast you can Release every muscle in your body. Feel your body dissolve into the earth like sand. Permission to do absolutely nothing here as we let every cell in our body absorb the benefits of this practice. So often we're finished with our asana practice and we want to skip Shavasana. However, it is the most important pose of the day. So good for the nervous system. To just allow yourself a few moments to completely rest here. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, coming back to lie. Drawing your hands together at prayer, bringing them up to the space between your eyebrows on your forehead. Taking a couple of loving, deep breaths in here. As you really feel the benefits of this practice soak in. Thank you so much for practicing with me today and sharing this class with me. One more deep breath in, exhale all the way out. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you got some nice opening in your hips. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, comment below how you feel after this class, subscribe to my channel, and maybe share it with your friends and family. Hope you enjoyed this class. I'll see you next time. Namaste.